finish her role. And time was saying, time's up, call of the time, as we've all heard, time's up, and Dadi has to leave. And when she was in her physical form, I always used to see how Dadi was very, very accurate, very accurate on her time. She never did anything that would give any other person waste thoughts. That why, like, for example, she was on time for class, she was on time if she had to go out anywhere, she was ready for anything but on time. And so time was saying that this is the right time for Dadi to leave the body, and time took her away. And for my own thoughts, I was thinking, but she's gone so suddenly. I know she's 104, but we could have kept her a little bit more. We could have looked after her, till she was 108 maybe, or another few years. All these thoughts were just playing on my mind, and just trying to console my mind that, was drama right? Was time right? Or was my own thoughts right? And ultimately, I had to move on, because I was remembering some of the things that Dadi used to say, that we must never be stuck in one thing. We have to move on. We have to jump. We have to run. And so there was lots of things happening here during the lockdown, many festivals. First, when Dadi left, there was Bhatti, and I was asked to conduct one Bhatti, which kept me a little bit busy. And so I was thinking that, first of all, I was thinking that, what am I going to do now that Dadi's gone? It was like the feeling that my whole world has turned upside down. And I used to say to Dadi that, when you leave your body, I'll be on the next flight to London. I will not stay here. But Dadi used to say, no, it's very important for you to stay here in India, in Shakti Bhavan, in Shantivan, because where will the foreigners go when they come? They would first come to Shakti Bhavan, because it was true that when foreigners used to come, they used to come to Shakti Bhavan. They always wanted to say hello to Dadi before they went up to Gyan Sarovar or Pandav Bhavan. And so Dadi used to say that you'll be doing a lot of service, just like how when people come and meet me now, there'll be lots and lots of people coming to take Dadi's Avyakt Drishti. And so at the moment where I'm sitting is where Dadi used to sit. Since Dadi's departure, we put the photo here on her seat. This photo actually stays here when I'm sitting. And next to Dadi, we put Baba's photo, so that anyone that came, even now, they feel the vibrations, the vibration that Dadi's left. They feel that Dadi hasn't left, Dadi's still around somewhere. And so everyone's commenting how there's such a powerful vibration atmosphere in this room. And so I felt that, no, there will be service that will be happening here. And I've seen that right from the beginning, that I was dreading two papers, two test papers. One paper was that when Dadi leaves her body, I never wanted that paper to come. And the other paper was for me to now give classes, because this was not my topic. I've always done physical service since I've been with Dadi for 36 years. Dadi came in London in 1974, and so I also have been in knowledge for 40 years. And my first visit to Madhuban, I'm very happy to say that they had asked Moira to look after me on my first trip to Madhuban. It was my first trip to India. And so also that was quite a challenging trip, because when I arrived in India, it was a culture shock. And especially when I came to Madhuban in Pandav Bhavan, 40 years back then, it was completely different from what you see now. Now, if you come, you wouldn't even recognize that you're in India, because it's more like paradise up in near Naki Lake and all the surrounding areas. They've really done the whole place up. So 40 years back, it was a lot different. And so the place that I was given accommodation, which was outside Madhuban, because I think there was a big group coming, and so there was not enough accommodation inside the complex. So a bit of a test there for me, because lots of things happen. But at that moment, my thought was that, okay, I would not come back to Madhuban. I would not come back to India. This would be my last. But just see how Baba does not let go of your hand. And that's exactly what he did with me. That on my first meeting with Avyak Bab Dada, it was a wonderful experience in the history hall. And but I did not speak Hindi at that time, but a translation was given. And how my very first blessing that Baba gave was that you're very mature, and with maturity you will go very far. And so like this, after that, I did come back to Madhuban, and there were many meetings, personal meetings with Baba. In those days, Baba used to meet the double foreigners on one-to-one basis, and it was a wonderful experience how Baba used to come in the evening at 6:30, 7 o'clock, and stay till early hours of the morning, and we would be sitting up throughout the night just waiting for our turn to come. And it was just a wonderful experience. And so like this, how my part opened. And in 1986, I was still living with my Lockicks in London. My Lockig home was near Heathrow Airport. And so when I first went to the center after coming into Gyan, again, the name Brahma Kumari's spiritual university. And when I saw that place, I thought, oh, a little narrow street, a little tiny house, and how can this be a university? I was expecting a very big building, because the name university, you would not expect a tiny little place. But nevertheless, there was my first encounter with Dadi, a simple little old lady in her cotton sari. And it was a Thursday where she, after the lecture, after the class, it was up in Tennyson Road. The class was upstairs. When I came down, Dadi was standing there, and Dadi served us hot halwa. And she was very sweet. At that moment that I didn't feel that I'm coming here for the first time. I've seen this person before. And so Dadi herself asked the brother who brought us, the instrument brothers that um, bring them on Sunday. And so like this, going every Sunday, all the families used to come on a Sunday, gather for Sunday class. And Dadi used to see all of us Kumaris. At that time, Dadi had the thought that how she would like all the Kumaris to come and stay at the center for maybe 2 days. And so she used to invite us. And it was at that time that every Friday we used to come to the center to Tennyson Road and stay Friday night and Saturday night and go home on Sunday with our parents. And so at that time, we we just saw how much attention that he was giving us Kumaris, young Kumaris, teenagers, and how she used to share her experience of the early days. At times, we used to get emotional hearing her stories because at that time she used to tell us all the things that she'd been through, and really we used to feel how much sustenance that is giving us. At that time, that's when all the foreigners started to um, come, and Dadi served so much during those days that um, the foreigners started to increase, and she used to just serve and serve and serve. Um, Then in 1986, there was a project, and Dadi said to me that, why don't you come and help for? It was actually Sister Janki who phoned me at home and said that there's a project, Million of Minutes of Peace. Why don't you come and help us here? Come for a week and then you can go back. So it was at that time that I'd come for a week, and I was asked to go and help in the Million Minutes of Peace office, which was in Swiss Cottage, a very, very posh area. Um, and I was asked to wear my locket clothes then and not wear my white sari. So I used to go and help there. Mike George was there, Nikki, there was others there, and I was a very, very shy little Kumari. But anyway, whatever help they needed in the office, I was doing that. And Dadi used to come on a Thursday with nectar and pork, and she used to sit with the office staff. That was her practice every Thursday. She used to come. So can you imagine how much sustenance she was giving everyone, each individually? And she used to give us nectar, she used to give us pork. And then after my 1 week was up, Daddy said that um, there's still more service, you know. I asked her if I can go back to my Lockheed home, and she would say that, but there's still service. Why don't you stay a little longer? And like that, 1 week passed, 2 week passed, and after that, I never looked back. Um, I never imagined that I would surrender. I never had the thought that I wanted to surrender. I was very happy living in my Lockheed home um, uh, because it was very cozy and easy lifestyle. Um, I didn't have any. I never used to keep any friends like as such that I would be spoiled by their company, like going to the restaurant, going to the cinema. I was very a homely person, and so when I started living in the center, um, Daddy invited me to come and live in Baba Bhavan. That's when they bought another house, And so just see how Dadi created my life. From there on, I started living with Dadi, and I used to see that she was very, very independent. Um, she pottered around the house and in the center doing little things. And also many, many guests used to come because Dadi and Janki used to travel a lot to many different countries, and how Dadi sowed the seed in most countries. It was Dadi, and so she used to be concerned that how these Baba's children, how will they get sustenance? Dadi used to invite all these guests to London, and she also got little bhavans together, like Shanti Bhavan, Pavitra Bhavan, Shakti Bhavan. And so when the guests used to come, they used to come and stay in all these different bhavans. But Dadi used to invite them to Baba Bhavan, where we used to be staying. All this Shakti Bhavan, Shanti Bhavan, Pavitra Bhavan was 5 minutes away from Baba Bhavan. And so um, all these guests that used to come, um, I I just saw how much attention Dadi was giving to each and every soul. And Dadi was very, very particular on us following all the principles, all the systems of the yajna, because when Baba sent her to the West, Baba had said to her that you have to create a model of Madhuban. And so this was always on Dadi's thought at the back of the mind, that I have to create a model of Madhuban. And so slowly and slowly she was preparing everyone, how she used to invite everyone for meditation, 4 o'clock meditation. And I used to see and be amazed at how all these people are coming from all the bhavans, and the room used to be packed. It used to be so full because Dadi would be sitting there with us during that 4 o'clock meditation. And it was after that Dadi used to see that most people um, go for their jobs, their work. And so Dadi created this system of having Murli read at 4:45 after Amrit Vela. Um, so when people used to come from Amrit Vela, Dadi created this system that Murli would be read at 4:45. And also, um, this system she created here in Shantiwan since 2007, when Dadi came back to Bharat, came back to Madhuban, and Dadi used to ask the people in the Bandara, um, the Nivasis, that when do you, if you're making breakfast in the morning, at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, when do you hear the Murli? And they used to say to Dadi, well, Dadi, we watch on the TV, or we hear the Murli on the speaker. So Dadi did not like that. So Dadi said, okay, so in the West, we read Murli 4:45. So here also, there'll be a new system where Murli will be read at 4:45. And so since then, hundreds and people, Baba's children here in Shantiwan, hear the Murli at 4:45, and that system is still carried on till today. And so this is what Dadi did in Baba Bhavan, that this system she created. And Dadi used to be very particular about um, everybody attending Murli as well, that nobody should miss the Murli, the morning Murli, 6:30. It used to be read at 6:30, and how that especially made a point of going. Um, First, it used to be in Duddon Hill. There was no um, other center then. There was no global house. So all of us Kumaris used to help take book to the community center where Murli used to be read, and we used to help out. Baba's children used to come 6 o'clock in the morning to clear out the hall where the community center was, because in the evening there used to be parties and everything, so lot of smoke smell, lot of drink smell. And so Baba's children, just imagine, everybody used to come and clean the hall before the morning class and create that vibration. So that went on about 10 years. Um, so, and then somebody used to come and pick Dadi up at 6:30 to take her to the hall. I've never ever seen Dadi um, coming out late, not even 1 minute, not even 2 minutes. Exactly at 6:30, she would be in the car. She was so time conscious, and she taught all of us how to be very accurate, we should have a very good record of our time. That Daddy used to say that why should we be the instrument to cause waste thought? Because if the driver is waiting for us, he would be thinking, why haven't they come? They're still getting ready. And he would be having all sorts of thoughts. So, um, not to create waste thoughts in anyone. We have to be on time for class. We have to be on time for any events, any programs that we go to. We have um, to be on time for any class. So, like that, through her action, Dadi taught us. Many a time, Dadi didn't have to say anything through her words, but through her action, she really reflected Baba through her every action. Because right from the beginning, Dadi was very strong um, with a discipline. Um, and so she taught us every little things um, that would move us forward. And so like this, I was very fortunate enough that Dadi had called me to Babawan to stay with her, and this is how I started to look after her since 36 years ago. I used to see that Dadi used to go to all the little centers in and around London. She used to go to all the centers in the UK. Um, I had never seen her saying that she was tired or she would not go to this program, or had never seen her even lie down for a couple of hours. Normally that's what we do, but I have since Daddy gets up, she never goes back into bed until it's rest time. That would be 3:30 or at night at 10 o'clock. In between, she would keep herself so busy, and this is what I had learned from her, that I have to be very accurate. I have to be ever ready, and just follow Daddy's system and footsteps. And so then, as Daddy's health um, became um, little bad, then um, she asked me to travel with her to different parts of the globe. Um, Daddy had health issues, couple of operations, so this is what how I then started traveling with her. And I remember coming to South America a few times, and it was a very good experience for me to be um, seeing different parts of the countries and how much I had learned from that. And it wasn't really easy traveling with Daddy, because it wasn't just packing her clothes and then off we went. She would be very particular and on all the things that needed to um, be ready, and like literature, like Toli, hundreds of pieces of Toli. Um, uh, they used to prepare and used to pack to take to different places. And Dadi was also very particular that um, at every step she wanted to serve. Like even at the airport, she wanted to give everyone toli. And I used to say to her, but Dadi, this is West. It's okay if you do this in India, but here, in the West, who would understand what toli is? Prashad, as they say. But Dadi would not listen. She would say that she wanted to give toli, she wanted to give blessing cards. So can you imagine how much toli I had to carry? Let alone my own little trolley bag and my handbag. I had to carry one whole, 10 kgs of toli because even that she would want to give on the flight and she wanted to do service on the flight. Um, in those days, gentlemen used to give um, files of emails because there was no iPhone, there was no iPad. So all the emails were printed on a hard copy. And so can you imagine all these big file that Daddy used to carry and read all her emails on the flight? And that gentleman was also very particular that she wanted Daddy to give all the answers. Although Daddy gentleman was senior, she never let out that she would never put herself in front, but want to give answers from Daddy. And so Daddy never used to rest on the flight. She would sit, and then I used to give her her glasses, her file, and I used to make her very comfortable. I used to take her own blanket. I never used the blanket from the flight. That much care I used to take of her. And although I was in economy, Daddy used to sit in business class. I never felt that I should also be sitting um, in business class. Um, and so giving Daddy this file, Daddy used to go through all her files. And also at the same time, she wanted me to serve the people sitting around her. She used to say, tell them who we are, give them my introduction. And so it was like she also wanted me um, to do service through the mouth, like, give them my introduction. She wanted me to open my mouth and serve in that way. So I used to give them toli and blessing cards, and I used to tell them who we are. So that service also used to take place. And after Dadi's, arrives at a certain place, she would immediately give answers of those emails. I mean, foreigners used to appreciate so much how quick they used to get their response of their questions or answers to their emails. Um, they've never seen anyone respond so quickly. And this was really Dadi and Gentleman's quality, never to keep anyone waiting, but quickly give an answer. Um, and then when she used to arrive at a place, most people used to say that, okay, so we've traveled so many hours, the jet lag. What is jet lag? Daddy didn't know what jet lag was. She would immediately involve herself in service. She, you know, even I used to say, Daddy, take little rest before you meet people. She used to know, no. When she used to see people waiting for her, she used to say that, I want to meet everyone. Um, and so immediately she used to sit with everyone, give them, that is quality was that she used to give everybody the feeling that she belonged there. Not that she's come from another place and she's Dadi, but no, that she used to give that belonging feeling that everybody felt that she was our Dadi. And that was just wonderful to see. And so my role was, um, to help her with her personal thing as well as taking care of the Toli and getting her ready for any events that she had to go to, but also personal meetings. Sometimes there used to be translators traveling with us, but it was just wonderful to see how Dadi manages to juggle all the different things. And this is what I've seen in her life really. There's never this feeling of wanting to rest or wanting, a break, like how we would want to feel, because Daddy was just Daddy, so much power, so much spiritual strength that you can't imagine that anybody else could do this. Um, I used to see all the other daddies, and I don't think they were as strong as this daddy, Dadi Janki. And so many things that I had learned from her, and just see how your destiny takes you from one corner of the world to another. And it was just her thought that when she came back to Bharat, how um, she also brought me um, with her to Bharat to look after her. I'd never imagined that I would be um, staying um, like a surrendered person here in Madhuban, but it was a new role for me. But it was very, very different from the West. Obviously, the service, everybody. And so, but I didn't mind. I was just looking at Dadi and wanting to help her in every way. And also during her tour, she amazed, uh, you know, eh, some of the service that she did just was a wonder. Dadi always use this one. It's wonder, it's a wonder. But we always saw wonder in Dadi, the amazement, how you know, she could travel to one country in one day and come back on the same day. That's what she did when she went to South Africa. As soon as we reached there, we got the news that Kumar, um, Kumarka Daddy, Prakashmani Daddy, is not well and Daddy had to come back. So all this journey that we did 7, 8 hours, but Daddy, not even a thought of how can I travel back? How can I do this? I've just arrived. Not even a trace, not even a thought. Anybody would feel that it's impossible. But Daddy made the impossible possible. She still gave a lot of love and a lot of closeness and belonging feeling to the place that she had reached, and not allowing them to feel that that is going back. But she gave them so much love, and she's just took a round of where the retreat was going to take place, and then after that she just came back. So can you imagine that, at such an age, I can't exactly remember, maybe she must have been over 80 or 90. I can't remember, but that's what she did. Um, sorry, it was, yeah, 2000 over. So that's what she did. She arrived back on the same day. So like this, Dati traveled many places. Um, Within a day or so, she used to arrive back. Some of the countries she used to go to three places in one go. Like if she went to Hong Kong, she would definitely go to Singapore. She would definitely go to Malaysia. I mean, who would do that at such an age, at the age of 90? But Dadi did that. And she would never give the feeling of being, when she reached the second country, she would never get the feeling that she is tired, but very, very fresh and stay same amount of love, same amount of freshness, same amount of her giving, that feeling. So whether it was one country she'd been to, second country, third, she was very, very, very much the same. So it was quite an amazing thing to see an amazing person like that. And here, um, in India was another, as you all saw how she traveled all over Bharat at such an age till 2004. Her last trip was to Pune, and that's where, when she was in Bharat, she served 16 years in Pune with such a bad health, and it was after that that she went to the West. So last till her last moment, um, we just saw the amazement in Dadi and how much she did and how much strength um, she had, spiritual strength. And so I just feel that um, now also, um, we have to feel that spiritual strength that Baba's given us. सभी को दिखाओ. We have to feel that spiritual strength within us so that we can also serve in the way that Dadi did, because um, that's what's going to help us right till our last moment. I saw Dadi during her last moments, last 3-4 days, although she was in the body, there was a feeling that she was on world service. There was not any pain in her. You, her face was just like a yogi face. She never let out the feeling. There was no pain. There was no feeling of sorrow. Very, she was like up with Baba, or she was serving. Now, when people come, they were feeling that when Dadi left, they had a vision that Dadi had come uh, to their place, or Dadi had come to serve them. So many people say that they had vision of Dadi uh, on the day that she departed. So yes, I could believe that, because when Dadi was in hospital, she didn't feel that um, she was there. It was like she was serving the world during those moments. Very still, very in silence. And so I feel that now that time that Baba has given us, we also have to go into that deep silence and just sort ourselves out inside and see where we need to bring a change, because we don't know what the future is going to bring. And Baba used to say that in many Murlis, that there'll be a time when you won't be able to go out. There'll be a time when you won't be even able to open the windows. And I see that period that's come now, that we won't be even able to call the doctors. So we used to listen to those things, but we never felt that really this time will come. But now we are seeing during this lockdown how the situation is in the world, how much fear there is in everyone. And so um, if we have that spiritual strength, if we have the spiritual power, we can help these souls. We have to be the light for the people in the world, that we can bring that lightness in them. But if we don't have it within ourselves, then we won't be able to help the people around us, or we won't be able to help the people in the world. And this is, I've seen Dadi when she used to sit here, and although we used to see her sitting, we used to see that she's lost somewhere. It was like she was serving through her mind. She was serving different parts of the world. She was serving different souls. That souls used to write to Dadi, or they used to phone her that today you came in my dream, today you came in my thought, today, Dadi, I saw you. And so everyone sharing their feeling of seeing Dadi or feeling her vibration, it's because she used to serve through her mind. And we can only do that if we are very stable within our own self. How we saw in Dadi, she always used to look towards Baba. Sometimes when we used to say to her that you're always remembering Baba, but you know, does he help you? And she used to put her finger here, and she used to feel that, yes, Baba's with me at every moment. And she used to say that, does my face look sick? She used to compare her face to Baba's face, and she used to ask us, has my face changed? And so also now I think that we have to keep looking inside of our own self. We have to see our own self. Um, and this is the service that maybe we can really do in helping others and helping people around us, creating that vibration, creating a powerful atmosphere around us, or also serving through the mind, so sending out those rays. Daddy used to say that we have to be the lighthouse. Daddy used to love seeing the lighthouse. She used to say that the lighthouse saves ships from danger. And so this is what we have to do, that we have become Baba's children. We have the knowledge, we have the understanding. And so, whatever Baba's teachings are, now we have to bring that within our lives. And this is the realization that I'm having, that first so many months I felt that what I was thinking was very right. I don't want to go to class. I don't want to go to Murli class. I don't want to go for Amrit Vela. There was so much feeling inside that what I'm thinking is right. And then suddenly um, I felt that, well, this is not what Daddy taught me. Daddy taught, Daddy taught us that how important it was to go to Murli class, how 4 o'clock meditation was so important. And so when I started going for Murli class, little bit of emotion if any Daddy's songs were being played, and I used to walk out of the Murli class, or that happened few months, um, or if any thoughts came, then there'd be tears flowing down. But after that I felt that no, I have to become very strong, and I started going to Murli class, and I just feel that people are seeing me, and the moment they see me, they remember Dadi, and everybody comes up to me and saying that when we see you, we see Dadi. So this is also a service that at least I'm keeping Dadi's memories alive. And Dadi used to say that you have to keep these doors open, and so nobody has this feeling of missingness. And so this is the service I have to do, is keeping Dadi's memories alive and sharing everything that Dadi taught me with all of Baba's children who would walk through this door. But I'm really looking forward for the double foreigners to come, and for them to come to Shakti Bhavan. So that would be wonderful. I think if this lockdown finishes and if people can come, that would be very nice. So they would also bring a lot of encouragement in the soul.
Thank you, Hansa. I think we all felt a lot of love and wisdom from what you have shared about our beloved Daddy Janki. And now we know it's late for you, but we have one question from the
So,
souls. And that is, what was your biggest learning from Daddy for your personal and Brahmin life?
um, I felt most important thing is that now, especially um, as I would be sharing or maybe giving class, the most attention that I have to bring is how Daddy used to say that um, my speech and my action should be the same. So whatever knowledge I'm sharing with people, that has to be practically in my life. because people say, no, you have to walk your talk. And so this is what people notice, that when you share knowledge, they also want to see it in your life. But also, Baba used to say that a time will come when people will want to hear less. They wouldn't want to hear so much, but they want to have a glimpse of what an angel is or what a deity soul looks like. So when Baba used to say that there will be crowds coming to Madhuban, they would want to have a darshan, glimpse of these deity souls, these angels, these people. And so I feel that now is the time that to create a stage like how Dadi was. When we used to see her, we never saw her physical form, but we saw her like next to God. And so I feel that we also have to pay attention to our thoughts and our words and our actions.
Wonderful, thank you.
And also, Dadi used to say that whatever I do, others will see and follow me. So let me not do any wrong actions that others would follow in that way.
चलते 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 यूं ही कोई मिल गया था, यूं ही कोई मिल गया था। सरे राह चलते चलते, सरे राह चलते चलते वही थम के रह गई है, वही थम के रह गई है। मेरी रात ढलते ढलते, मेरी रात ढलते ढलते जो कहीं गई न मुझसे, जो कहीं गई न मुझसे, वो ज़माना कह रहा है, वो ज़माना कह रहा है कि फसाना, कि फसाना बन गई है, कि फसाना बन गई है। मेरी बात चलते चलते, मेरी बात चलते चलते यूं ही कोई मिल गया था, यूं ही कोई मिल गया था। सरे राह चलते